Now, a KXAN News investigation.
It is an exclusive KXAN investigation into the Texas Workforce Commission.
A local man says he's been targeted by the Texas Workforce Commission for a 23-year-old debt he does not owe. Our lead investigator, Chris Willis, here now to get to the bottom of this dispute. Chris.
Yeah, Robert, it's interesting. And Shannon, good evening to you. The Texas Workforce Commission says thousands of people were either overpaid unemployment benefits or got money they were not qualified to receive decades ago. But as we found out, the agency's records are admittedly old, and in some cases, officials actually rely on summaries to figure out what actually happened. It's a system that is not good enough, according to a Central Texas man who spoke exclusively to KXAN. If you owe the state of Texas money, that debt may never go away.
The Texas Constitution does not allow state agencies to forgive debt.
That's why the Texas Workforce Commission is now going after about 3,000 people who they claim were overpaid or disqualified from unemployment payments. The state says these people received unemployment benefits they didn't qualify for or were overpaid. All 3,000 cases are more than 20 years old.
Because this has cost me a lot of time, money, aggravation, effort, you know.
David LaKyle is one of those people targeted by the TWC. The Workforce Commission says he owes the state close to $3,000 in unemployment benefits he was allegedly overpaid way back in 1988. He tells KXAN he spent 2.5 years as a window tinter for a company called Trimline Designs and was laid off and applied for unemployment. But the Workforce Commission says he then took another job and was fired for inappropriate conduct. And now they want that money back. LaKyle was floored.
There's absolutely no employer between Trimline Design and the company I work for today. There is no employer.
So assuming it was a mistake, LaKyle filed an appeal and requested a hearing. Needless to say, it didn't go well.
Your case is so old, I can't pull it up in the system.
Then, in the next hearing, more problems. The investigator doesn't know who that second employer is or who allegedly fired LaKyle 24 years ago. But the file, which is now on microfiche, says he was fired for taking money. And that's a charge he denies because he says there was no job.
The employer is not identified, and the determination states that you were discharged from your last work due to the misappropriation of funds. So,
what? Those misappropriation of funds?
Yeah, that's what the document states.
Holy smokes, I was a window tinner. I didn't have access to funds.
We have summary information that we are standing behind that we know is accurate, and that determination is that the overpayment is correct.
Lisa Givens is the spokesperson for the Workforce Commission. She says if David LaKyle would have disputed the claim when it was made 24 years ago, there would be no discrepancy. And as stewards of the state's money, she says they need to account for every dollar. And while she admits some of the records are on microfiche and incomplete, she says they do have accurate summaries of older cases.
That information was based on, information we had at the time, and also this individual has had opportunities to appeal recently, and that information has still not come forward.
So where is the burden of proof? Should the state prove you owe back unemployment benefits, or should you have to prove you don't? What we decided to show is David LaKyle was not fired from his job at Trimline because we did what the state didn't do and tracked down David's old boss, Roger Fowler.
No, he did not get fired. I had let him go. If I had a business still, I would hire David today.
And that leaves the questions to be answered by the employer from the job Dave took after he was let go from Trimline. It's a job he says he never had, and an employer that the Workforce Commission can't name, as evident in their latest appeal hearing, which Dave lost.
And what we can't tell from this, because they didn't put it on those forms back then, is the employer involved. We don't know who that is. There's no way to tell with yours because it's too old.
And even though TWC has no record of LaKyle having another job, the hearing officer says LaKyle must have taken another job and gotten fired because someone noted back in 1989 that LaKyle's was a continued claim.
What this tells me is you had to work somewhere.
I could really tomorrow write a check, but that's not the point here. The point here, there's lots of people they've done this to, maybe right, maybe wrong, but my example's wrong.
Well, David LaKyle says he's prepared to take this issue to court. He says he's pulled copies of his tax returns from the 1980s and copies of his Social Security benefit statement proving he did not have that other job after filing for unemployment. Meantime, the 3 workforce commissioners have reviewed LaKyle's latest hearing, and they're standing by the judgment of that hearing officer. If LaKyle doesn't pay the Texas Workforce Commission, it can file a lien against his property. We're going to let you know if, in fact, that happens. And if you want to listen to those hearings for yourself, we have posted them with this story on our website at KXAN.com. Shannon, Robert.
Chris, thank you. And remember, if you have a story for the KXAN investigative team, call us or email us at investigates@kxan.com.